Hey everybody, it's Sue with Brushes and Beyond, and I'm super excited because I'm going to get to share with you one of my spring paintings, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can use it in your paint parties, and if you have any questions, you can always give me a call or preferably message me on Facebook, Brushes and Beyond, or email me at brushesandbeyond@gmail.com. So I'm going to just jump right into this thing and kind of show you what my original looks like and how I started and what paints I used and what process I went through to get this painting. But I'm also going to do this today. We're going to paint it on canvas because I know a lot of us, that's what we use for our parties because they're so much easier. I have a husband who actually builds these for me, so that does make it a little bit easier for me. But not everybody is as fortunate as I am. But you can build them yourself. I actually did a little tutorial on our Facebook group at one point to kind of show you how I put mine together. So I have done them. I can do them. I'm just kind of lucky that I can get my husband to do them. It's cold right now in Arkansas. I'm here in Arkansas and it's wet and it's rainy and it's miserable weather here. But I'm out in my little studio shed, or I call it my art shed, and we're going to enjoy this time to paint together. So like I said, I did this on palette boards that we put together, and it makes it a little bit more rustic. They're heavy, and that's the one thing I don't like is they're so much more heavier than a canvas. So today we're going to use canvas because I think a lot of us use that, and I'll plan on using a lot of canvas as well. So I have this is actually a flower box, if you can't tell, and we're going to end up stenciling some words on this at the end. I did use a palette knife for some of the flowers, and I'm going to use those today, but I also am going to use a brush because I know that not everyone is comfortable with a palette knife. I'm not extremely talented at it yet, but it's something I'm real passionate about. I love the look of it. I love the look of texture, so it's something that you'll see me doing a lot. And we're going to get started. So this is a very, I feel, simple and appropriate painting for parties, because there really isn't that much to it. Let me jump over here. So I went ahead and sketched out my flower box, which is a rectangle. I used a ruler to do that and to measure the sides. And then I decided where I wanted my border to be, the gray that you had seen in my other one. And so it's really simple. You've got a line here, a rectangle here, make it any size you want. We're going to start out by just painting the background. And on my background, I used a couple of different colors. I wanted it to kind of give it a greenish, tealish color. So I used just some basic craft paint. I have green, I have a blue, I have a turquoise, and I have a white. And all I'm going to do is just kind of pick up all of those colors in my brush and just start painting on. Put that over here. Put my readers on so I can see what I'm doing. And then you can just kind of play with the color till you get it to where you want it. Now we're going to go back and add some different looks to this later, but I first just want to get this on and have it drying so that when we're working on our flower box, it can dry. So the first thing on this painting, I feel, is the background. A lot of my paintings, I do the background last. Also, with a canvas, it's much faster. Like, I think this is going to be a fun, but fast painting that we offer. I'm going to go back and add a little bit more white. I'm not doing anything special here. I'm going to get the sides. I went across, and now I'm kind of going back with a little crosses or X's to give it some dimension and some colors there. But I really like white always. Is a really good one to go back over. I know you guys are all accustomed to doing your background, so of course, any way you want to do your background is fabulous. I'm just going to kind of lay it up there. outside. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. It's Saturday here for me, or for all of us, I guess. And my husband and my two youngest children are in the house. They're by the fireplace, and they're getting cozy with their tablets and their TV and enjoying a day. So I had the opportunity to jump out here and paint, which I normally don't do on Saturday because we try to keep that time for just our family, but it's just so nasty. You can't do anything outside. I feel really lucky to come out here and paint, and I hope you're getting to do something fun like that today that you want to do. I try not to work on Saturday. I try not to schedule anything. I do have a few parties here and there on the weekend, but for the most part, I like to do my parties during the week so that I have all the time I need for family stuff on the weekend. So, got a little bit more green on this side. Like I said, we're going to go back. Let's look at this. Seems like I've got a little bit more green on this side than blue, so let's go back and add some blue. I'm going to add a little bit more white. I'm not trying to blend this. Just laying that brush, doing some X's and marks. We are going to give it some antique look later. And we are going to use a palette knife, but when I say palette knife, you can actually use a credit card, a piece of cardboard, a brush, a very dry brush. So we'll kind of talk about that when we get there. And you don't have to be particular right up here because we're going to cover all of that up with flowers. All right, so that's our background for the basic. And wash this brush out. And now we're going to do, I did kind of a gray. So I have some white and I have some black on the same brush. And then I'm just going to make this one, I'm going to kind of keep it going this direction, going from left to right, because this is kind of like the border or maybe where the flower box, like the indication of where the flower box is sitting on. So I'm not going to go crazy with it as far as my patterns. Not too much black there. And like I said, we're going to go back and kind of do some fun things with these backgrounds. So this is just getting us started. Backgrounds are fun. And you don't have to be particular, like it doesn't have to be straight up and down, straight across. Just get that on there. Okay. And a little bit more white to this one. I'll probably go back and do some more of that here soon. All right, the next thing we need to do is just simply get our box on there, and I'm using now like just flat. These are the larger ones, medium sized ones I guess you'd say, but I use a flat one when I'm doing something square, of course, and when we get the flowers we're going to use something a round brush. So for this we just want white. I want my flower box white. Of course you can use any color you wish. Now I'll go back and add some texture and some shading and colors and that kind of thing. But for now, we just want it white. A little different painting up here on my board. However, it was the best place that I could find to paint in my little studio for you guys. So just flip to be filled up. I know you guys do not need this part, but we're going to get through this really quickly. I paint a lot on wood, and the main reason is because it's just what I'm used to. I'm used to sanding and doing all that faux type finishing because I started out as a furniture painter, like I know a lot of you. I grabbed us a tiny little bit of my black to kind of give it a little, if you can see, just some little bitty lines there. Okay. You see it there? I'm just going to kind of bring it on across. All right. We are going to highlight the box with black. I'm not so worried about these edges, but I did go a little further over on this one, so I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Okay. When I paint, I don't like to be exact, and I think that's why I like the palette knife so much, because I like to get a little crazy with my painting and do fun abstract type things, and the flowers are kind of abstract. Okay, so we're going to just jump right in. I told you this was simple, guys. We're going to jump right into our flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of outline where I want them. And you can actually, of course, use anything you want, but I'm going to use black to kind of figure out where I want my flowers. And I'm going to start in the center. I'm just going to kind of make a little blob shape, a little bit of a flower shape where I want my first one. And that kind of gets me started. Then I'm going to paint like a little smaller one right here. Another larger one right here. And he's going to kind of be in front of this guy. Flowers are so fun to paint. And they're so pretty. And they're so easy. I don't know why we don't put them on everything. Alright, so here we go with our flowers. And this one's going to be just a little bit lower than that one. Put one here. I'm going to put, let's see, I've got that guy, that guy. Let's make this one larger. And then a little one here, kind of scrunched in there. I'm going to make a little one there. Just kind of outlining where I think I want them. This is going to be like a little rose petal. Another one here. So fun, guys, to do flowers. I love them. Do another one here. Like I said, these are very much abstracts, so don't get caught up in trying to make them just perfect. Let's make this guy a little bit bigger, and he's kind of scrunched there behind everybody else. We're going to paint a flower here, a little bit different one, and I want to paint one here. And maybe a couple of rose buds here. Now, I did a truck here recently that I'm going to kind of show you a little bit real quickly, if I can, about how I did the flowers on this one, because it's kind of similar. See how I made on this truck? I made them just really spread out, kind of went all over the place. So that'll just kind of give you an idea of what you can do on the flower box. You can have leaves and sprigs and blooms everywhere. But I kept this one on the simple side, and the main reason I did that is because I now that I'm doing paint parties, I try to think of everything. When I come up with a painting, I want to come up with something I feel like most anybody Now I'm adding the leaves, okay? Most anybody could do. And there's a reason for that, because I want to keep my paintings as simple as I can, because we are doing parties and not doing a whole lot of teaching. When I have 40 women in a class, guess what? I don't have time. I just don't have the time to sit there and teach them all kinds of techniques. So I try to do basic techniques so that they can leave with a beautiful painting. And that's what they want. They want to leave something that they're proud of. It doesn't have to be detailed. They don't know. I don't ever say in my parties, oh, this is the easiest thing you're ever going to do. I don't say anybody can do this. I say you guys are going to be amazed at what you do in this class today, what you end up with, because you're going to all leave with something that you're going to be proud of. So I kind of like to, just let them know that it's all going to be good. But I also don't want to tell them, hey guys, anybody can do this. I want them to know that there's a special and that they did a brilliant job. Okay, so we're just going to kind of leave it at that. That dry in just a second. And then we're going to start on our flowers. Let's go back to this painting, my original one. And it's a pretty good size. And if you want, I'm going to give you the dimensions and everything with this one, but just know that there's no way you have to offer these. If you offered this in a party, you would want to charge $65 or $55 at the most, at the least. So we've got a couple of different shades of flowers going on here, but if you notice, they all have a red center. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and put everybody's little center in, and they're not perfect. Flowers aren't perfect. You can really see this one. You can see that this is a lot going on there. Okay? I'm going to put this guy back over here. And I'm going to show you the colors that I use for my flowers. All right, now, and I'm going to give you, you're going to have a list, so don't try to remember this, but I wanted to show you my palette, which is my foam plate, my favorite. I use a heavier body paint when I'm using something that I want a lot of texture with. And so the one that I typically buy is Master's Touch at Hobby Lobby, but they also have this Artist Loft brand at Michael's, and it's like right now it's on sale for $2 for a 4.6 ounce, and it lasts a long time. So that's what I'm using, is a combination of those, just a heavier body, and you'll see why I do that. I'm going to be using a palette knife. The one I typically use, if you can see this, has a point on it, very pointy, and it's because you can get into do a lot of different things with it. So it's my go-to. Okay, I'm going to start out with this is just a basic red color. Of course, you can use craft paint. If you don't want to buy the heavy body paint, you can use a body gel, a gel that you can add, and I'll give you that in the list too of supplies. So I'm just going to go through here now, and I'm just going to add a little circle on each one of these flowers. And you can put the circle, the little dot, if you don't want them all facing this direction, then you need to, like if you want that one pointing in that direction, then you're going to move your little dot over. But I'm just going to keep them all simple. I want this to be a simple but fun and beautiful painting for all our people and for you. Okay, the center one is the one that I kept darker. Actually, I'll show you the three. There's three darker, a couple lighter, and I kind of, variated them, changed them up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of my white, and you see how it hangs on that palette knife, which is just wonderful. And I am going to just get a little tad of my red, not a lot, just a little bit. And I'm just going to start going around that circle. I'm going to go back. I use a lot of white. I'm going to come back here. Now, if you notice, I am not doing anything special. Just around and around and around. And I did kind of go over that, which is fine. I wanted to do that. because I'll pick up a little bit more red here and there. I'm going to go ahead and cover that black up, although we are going to outline it with black, so you can leave a little bit of it showing. I like to leave a little bit of it showing. A little bit harder for me to paint up here on my little board, but I thought you'd be able to see it better like this. I'm going to go back, so I've kind of got that as a light pink. I'm going to go back with just the red now, and I'm just going to kind of start making little flower petals. Guys, there is no right or wrong way to do this. The more you blend, the more you keep going, it just kind of blends. So I like to, let's put a little bit more red in the center. And then just kind of keep going around it a little bit just to make those cool looking petals. And you can just kind of lay it on top with a thicker paint. And I think we're going to stop right there with this guy. Let's just maybe make a little bit more around here. Okay, I'm going to wipe the palette knife off. And then I'm going to go ahead and do all of the pink and the red rosy color ones. So I want that one to be pink. I'm going to do this one in kind of a yellow or off-white. And then I'm going to make this one more of a pink, not so much as dark as that one. So I'm just going to use my white, which actually has a little bit of red in it because we used it on the first one. I'm just going to kind of start laying around. Over here. So much easier to do this on a flat surface on your table, but I was having a hard time getting my camera just right, so I decided we could try this. You'll have to let me know if that works for y'all. Okay. I'm just using the end of my palette knife. Kind of make some little indications of leaves, or not leaves, but flower petals. Now I wanted that one lighter, so I'm adding quite a bit more white. When we get through, I'm going to go back in and add even more. So now we've got, okay, this one's going to be darker, we've got our lighter, this is going to be yellow, this one's going to be yellow, this is also going to be pink right here. Just kind of every other one making a different color, so it'll be pretty on my eyes when we look at it. Speed this up a little bit. And I did tell y'all that I was going to show you how I use a brush. I just get a little round brush and basically do the same exact movements. Brushes are a little bit, of course, easier to control, but the whole thing about the palette knife for me is losing that control, like the coolness of how, with that palette knife, the brush strokes leave certain marks, but the palette knife is unpredictable. You just never know. But do you see now that I'm doing that with the brush, and it's actually faster. It's something that I know that everybody in the class can make. Everybody in your class can do your parties. So we're going to go back to these flowers. So those are our pink ones. I am going to set that down. Now we're going to take a little bit of, I'm going to use white and gold to kind of get this color that I'm looking for. Go back to using my palette. I'm just a lot more comfortable with making flowers with them because that's just what I do mostly. So let's get those flowers in there. And you see it picked up some of the pink, but that's perfectly fine. I don't want that in there. Give it some other definition and texture. And it did that because we had that pink in the center. I'm going to go back and put a little bit of gold with some red in the center of this one. I'm going to take my gold and start making this little marks for the flowers. Then I'm going to go back with my white. It's really something that you just play with, but they absolutely love to paint flowers in class. You will see that. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. This guy is kind of going behind the other two next to it, so we're just going to kind of lay that on. I made it a little bit bigger there. And don't worry about covering up all that background because we're going to be adding leaves to that. Okay. Just keep going, get around that red place there. And we're going to go back with our gold now. A little wider. And these are not supposed to be perfect. They're very abstract. And that's super popular right now. In fact, you could advertise it in that way. Abstract flower box painting. Okay. So we've got every other one. I'm going to actually, now I'm going to just do a real pink one right here. I didn't want to put too many of my yellowish color flowers in there, but I can actually kind of mix the colors together and kind of come up with, like these are kind of pink and gold, this one is, which I'm kind of liking. I'll add a little bit more pink to it. I love all this fun texture. And it'll give your party something new and fresh to add. There we go. I'm going to take a little bit of that yellow to make, this one's kind of turning out peachy, which I think is really fun. Put some more red right back in the middle of all of them. Just kind of dab it on there. Okay, I am going to now take and add a little bit more pink on this one. Give more definition to those rose petals or the flower. Okay. Just a little bit makes a huge difference. Okay, I'm pretty happy with all of that. This one could use a little more white, so you can actually just kind of go back over with the white If you remember, that's the one we use the brush with. And the same thing with your brush. You see I'm getting some yellow, which I actually think that's super cool. Or gold. It's gold. Let's cover up a little bit of that, where those black highlights there. Now I'm going to go back in and do that. The edges a little bit. Okay. I could work on those all day long. So much fun. I'm going to make this one a little bit closer to the other one. Just a little bit. A little bit more pink in there. Alright, now let's go up here and add this one. Kind of want him pink. Add a little more pink. I think a darker one would be super pretty on top of these two lighter ones. So let's just add him. Her. Okay. Let's smooth it out a little bit. And I'm going to go back over it with some white to kind of give it petals. Okay. This one, I'm going to make it a little bit different kind of flower. And just kind of draw it on there. Whatever you want. I'm going to outline it and it'll give it more. Okay. And now we're going to do those rose petals. So I'm just going to put some pink. Well, I'm going to walk over here, see where I had this one going. I'm just going to add just a little flower petal, and I'm using all of the different colors. You can see it's kind of a hot mess palette now. It helps me because I can now use all of those colors together. It makes such cool definition. It's like I did a lot of more work than I actually did. Okay, let's make this little one here. You go out of the lines a little bit. Don't worry about it. Just keep going with it. Don't worry about all that. Okay, I'm going to add some red here. And kind of blend it a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's go back with our pink and red and add some more of our little rose buds. I'm trying to see where I had them all at. Got a couple here. Just kind of laying that palette knife on there. Picking up some more color. We're not finished with these rose buds here. We're just starting. And we're going to come over here. I've got a flower right here. Make it a little darker. I like that color. I'm going to add a little white or yellow just to go back in there a little bit. Okay. These are going to be leaves. We've got some rose buds right here. So let's add those too. Just kind of lay it on there. The other ones, don't worry about it because we're going to go back over those here in a minute. Do we have any more roses to put anywhere? Nope, I think we're good on all our flowers. Now, we're going to go back on those flowers. So we will go back and do some more highlighting. But right now, we're going to go ahead and start on the little leaves. So I'm just taking green, just a dark green to start with. And it is a thicker, heavier body paint. And I'm just going to go out here and paint on the leaves. Well, I'm doing this party next month for the first time, and we're going to use palette knives, but I'm also going to provide brushes for them because I don't want anybody to get frustrated, but I have been telling them, because they've been asking for it, that we are going to use them, and they're pretty excited about that. So when you're doing using a palette knife, you always tell them it's more of an indication. When you look at it, it's a leaf. If you get up really close, it kind of looks like a mess. But that's the beauty of a palette knife, is getting some very different looks and not being very precise, because if you were, it would take a look away from the look of the abstract type painting. You just have to explain it to them. If you guys aren't into that, everybody can kind of do their own thing at this party as far as choosing if they want to go for an abstract look or not. I did do a little class before the holidays, before Christmas. I'm going to go now back over this with a little white just to highlight it, and see when you use the white, it just turns, kind of gives it that light green that we're looking for. You don't want to really blend it, you just kind of lay a little bit on there. On your leaves, I'm going to paint a leaf right here. Everywhere we made an outline for them. Go ahead and do one this direction too. That looks like it needs something right there. More of a point right there. Go ahead and add a little white for the highlight. Pull it down a little bit. Okay, it's coming together, guys. All right, so now let's do this guy. This little. After a while, the colors start kind of blending a little bit, and I love that. All right, you can kind of still see where I left that black outline. That kind of helps with the look of it, I think. Kind of gives you an automatic highlight. All right, pull that down just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, let's do this one. Jump back over here. You guys can see this really good. I was hoping painting it up on my little board here, background board, that it would help you see it better. So this is a trial. Okay. Got a little lighter colors, white, green. Drag you up a little bit more. Okay. Okay, I don't like that green there with it. Now on this one, I'm going to do a different kind of leaf here. I'm just going to kind of make some lines that you can do these. You can have so much fun with flowers and leaves and greenery. You can just do it in a million different ways. And I think our painters will have fun with that. I'm really going to concentrate on telling them this is a fun, very individualized taste depending on what their tastes are. And I'm going to tell them to get loose with it. This is a fun one that they can get loose with. And you can see how quickly it's moved along. We've done this pretty quick. Nothing is too hard. Yet, teasing it's not going to be hard. It's going to. If you haven't used a palette knife before, I really think it helps you in all your other paintings, because I know that it has for me. I don't know why that is. I don't know. It teaches me to be a little bit, to let loose more and to enjoy my painting more and to be unpredictable. And that's what I really, really enjoy about it, because it's so unpredictable about what you're going to get. You see how it's got a little pink in it? I kind of like that. I'm going to leave that. Maybe put more in here, actually. Now I'm going to just take a brush now, actually. And I'm going to just use, my hands are freezing, guys. It's so cold in here. But if I turn my heater on, it's super loud. So now I'm just going to kind of go back and add the greenery to the roses. The rose little petals. So look here, we're just going to make a line here, a line here. Let's try to show you what that looks like with a palette knife. Lay it on there. You don't even have to move it. You just kind of lay it on there. All you want is a little indication of a rose bed. Isn't that cute? Here. Another one here. Add a little bit more right in the center there. Those bigger ones. Go down here. There we go. We've got all of our rose beds now done. All right, so now let's take a flat brush and do some greenery with it. So I'm going to add, I feel like this area needs something more coming out this direction. Let's see, let's take a look at this thing. I want to add some greenery here, and all I'm going to do is use a little square, little flat ended brush, and I'm just going to kind of add some, just like that. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna do it right here. And we're gonna go back in a minute and add some more fun things to that. But I'm gonna take I'm just gonna lay this brush end around to make little leaf petals like that. On that one, and I think I need to do that maybe right here. Let's put one right there. Do the same thing. Just kind of go back and forth just with the top end of your brush. What do you think? We're going to do some highlighting on that, but that's just a good place to start. And I'm going to just make one like right here. Just kind of add a little greenery here and there. Okay. I want one going out in this direction. Make this one a little thicker. Go up a little bit. I'm going to add like a little greenery here, kind of waving out. A little flat brush is awesome for all this, and I'm using a very, very dry brush too. That seems to help so much. I'm going to add a little stem here for my rosebuds. And here. Just kind of going in and adding a little greenery here and there. How's it coming together? Okay, now let me look at it. I know we need some greenery in here. One of the ways I like to do that is just take a very small round brush and find a good one. You'll hear all of my little brushes over here. Okay, so this one is a pointier round one. And I'm just going to take my dark and my light green or dark and white. And I'm just going to kind of start laying it. Actually, I wanted a muddier green. What I mean by that is I want it a little bit more middle of the road. Okay, so we want to change some up. So I'm just going to make some little bitty impressions of some flowers there just by laying that little round in there. Okay, I'll do that one there. And then I'm going to put another one right here. You see I'm just kind of laying that round brush around. Nothing spectacular. And we're going to go back in a minute and I'm going to do another one right there. We're going to go back in a minute and add the highlights and lowlights to these. You'll see how simple that is. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of fill it in a few places. Like I'm going to do some little indications of some leaves there. Maybe over here. Just doing like 3, 4, 5 little dots. And I'm going to kind of make this go down here. Kind of add some greenery in there. That's all I'm doing. Nothing spectacular, but you don't want all that background, you know, looking crazy in between those flowers because you wouldn't see that in a, I'm going to put a little flower right there, little petals right there. I'm going to go around it and look at yours and just say, oh, I think I want one here and that one here. You can do a little bit more. With this brush, you can do some really neat strokes for greenery. Just going to go filling in with this lighter green I have. I'm going to use the darker on this one. Go back over with some dark. A little too green. You cannot mess up with this, guys. You just kind of have to play, play, play. I love this part. My original one I didn't get as crazy with. The harder you press down with this brush, the thicker your strokes will be, like you see on that one. I'm just kind of doing a little here and there, just to kind of fill in some spots, some areas that I felt like needed it. And I really, really, really am liking how that's all looking. Let's do it again. Over here. And they don't even have to be connected. You see how they don't even have. And you see how your people, your painters, will just have fun doing all this fun stuff with the flowers? I can. I know my group girls are gonna love it. Okay. I think I need to stop on ahead. One more little thing there. And I'm not really dark on top of that one. Okay. So now I'm going to go back and kind of highlight everything with black. I'm going to take a highlighter, a little bitty highlighter brush, and I don't use the heavy body highlighter. I paint with highlighting because I want it to flow. I want it to be more fluid. So I'm actually going to go in here to these flowers and I'm going to add some black. And it's just going to kind of give my flowers a little bit more pop and form. And when you do this, you just kind of go around in different, one there. I call them like little parentheses. There we go. See how that kind of gives it, it just shows up a little bit more. Here we go. Do this a little fast, guys, so we can get this finished. So fun. I'm having so much fun. I feel like you guys are here with me, painting with me. Wouldn't that be fun if we could all get together and paint together? Oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad. You guys are going to have to come to Arkansas and paint with me sometime. I mean, you wouldn't see this black on a normal flower, but these aren't normal flowers, right? But in a painting, especially the kind that we do, it just makes them pop. See how much more you can see those now? I mean, I could spend a lot of time doing all this, but I'm going to try to just speed it up for you guys. But you do see what I'm talking about. It just pops. Okay. Remember, this is the just regular craft paint here, nothing fancy. A tiny little liner brush to kind of give our flowers some more definition. Make sure we're still typing. Okay, almost got the flowers. I think my stomach just growled, y'all. Been out here a while. Okay, now the flower. I hope y'all can see that this is just such a fun, easy painting. I want to go around these flowers also with the black a little bit on the edges, just a little bit, and not all over it. You know, just like we did on our truck and all the different things that Heidi's given us to paint. We've you don't do the whole thing. You just, and I just got a little bit too much there. I'll go back and fix that. You just kind of do, let the brush pick some spots. But again, that makes it pop a little bit more. See that? No rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of let that brush do the work for you. Okay, one more here. I'm gonna do a little bit different stroke here on the sunflower. And I'm gonna go back, kind of give all of the greenery just a tiny bit of some black. In the leaves. Especially down the center. Okay. That has been fun. That's been for me. I can think of a whole lot of different ways I'd like to do this painting after I've done it a couple of times. I just keep kind of thinking of different flowers you could use. You could use sunflowers for this summer, and you could use, gosh, all of the flowers, all the things. Flowers really are one of my favorite things to paint. Define this little guy a little bit more. Oops, I did a little crazy there. Well, let's go back in. That's the one thing I like to do with paintings like this is I don't really go back and fix things. I just keep going until I make it look like that's what I wanted to do. Okay, let's take a look at it. Now I'm going to go over, just like we made the snow with some of our tree and our cow, I'm going to go over and add some white dots, little bitty tiny white dots. I need a little bit thicker paint. When I do this, I really like to use my Heavy Body paint and just kind of go over them in random areas and just add the idea of little, I don't know, fun stuff is what I call it, the fun stuff. Okay, that one on that one. Let's put like 3 here that look like little flowers. 2, 3. I don't know what it is about these little white dots. You can use any color. But all of a sudden, to me, it makes the painting come alive. It gives it a little bit more whimsy. Oh, I love whimsy. Gives it just some sweet little touches. I'm gonna put one in each. These little flowers here. Maybe put a few down this one. And actually just kind of put one here and there. See how fun that is? Give it a whole different look. Just don't be afraid. I think the thing I would say more than anything is just don't be afraid to play with your art. Make it fun for your girls. Make it fun for your people that are coming. Not take it all too seriously because they're coming to a party. And we need to give them that opportunity to play and have fun. All right, I think we're done with our flowers. I love it, love and love it. Okay, guys, now we're gonna go back over the box and make it a box. Finish that. So I'm gonna take, I normally would take my palette knife, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use the palette knife only because I want to show you that look. So we need black. Now all we're going to do is make a line. I've got this palette knife. You could use whichever one you want. I just prefer this one to make my little lines. Again, I'm not making this exact. I'm just kind of outlining my box. My flower box here. And remember, I want it to be a little on the rustic side. So I am going to make that line. And then I'm going to make one about right here. I'll pull it down. Put some paint on there and pull it down. Of course, you know how to do this with a brush. I don't think I need to tell you how to do that. Is that perfect? No, but do I love it? Yes. Same on this side. I really need more paint, but okay. And then we're gonna do that all the way across the neck. Because this is so not much area there, I'm just gonna use a little brush just to kind of pull it across so it'll look like the top of the board. Okay. Got a little paint there, but that's okay. All right, so let me pull that down on this side. Let's see. Okay, I totally messed that one up, guys, but I'm gonna go back and show you how to fix it here in a minute. All right. I'll wipe this part off a little bit and go back and cover that up in a minute. Whoops, whoopsie daisy. Got a little cracker there. Cover that up. And I was doing so good. You guys will just have to bear with me. I'm gonna cover that up. I'll let it dry a minute though, because it's just blending right now. So we'll let it cover up. And then we'll go back over that in a second. While we're doing that, while that's happening, we're gonna go and add the aging looks of the box. And to do that, we're going to use a brown. I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to get a little brown on it. And then I'm simply going to go around it in different spots. I love how it looks on that greenish color. I like to run it just first. Just kind of scrape a little bit on here and there. got a little white on there too, and I kind of like that, but let's take it off. Okay. You could use any color you want. However, I like to use brown. Same thing down here. Down here. I'm going to use it on this direction here. Cover that up a little bit, just randomly. Random places. And we'll do some on that box here in a minute when it gets dry. Cover that again. Sorry about that, guys, but at least you see that we all know what happens, and I just got it carried away for a second. Just going to kind of keep blending that. Make that work to our edge because I kind of like the color. Brown. So when you boo-boo, just kind of make it you plan to do it that way. I didn't plan to do it that way, but I kind of like that gray in the box a little bit. Okay. White in here. We'll just pretend like we're highlighting this area. Actually, let's add a little black just so that we can make this side look the same. Do-over. Oh my gosh, you guys, I kind of like this look even better. Okay. It's going in this direction because my wood goes in this direction. And that's what we're trying to make it look like, right? Alright, I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go back and go ahead and just finish this up. Okay. Now, we have a line in the center of the board, so I'm just going to make a line that makes it look like an actual palette board. Okay, so I'm going to do that one kind of in the middle. Not anything major. I'll take a brush and finish that one. Let's put this over here. Okay, now we're going to take our palette knife and we're going to wrap this up just like we did the rest of it. And right here, our And we're done. Do y'all love it as much as I do? I hope so. I hope you have fun with it. Have a great weekend, guys. So, Be Still is what I wanted on it. Now I have a stencil that I have made, and I'm going to put that on with black. And I use a makeup sponge, a little triangle makeup sponge when I'm doing my stencil. So I'm just going to hold this guy down. I'm not going to tape it down. I'm going to kind of do it random too because, again, this is a rustic look. And I don't want it to be, I don't want to look like it came from Hobby Lobby. I want it to look like it came from a paint party. Everybody has been talking about their word of the year. Be Still happens to be my words of the year. And the reason I chose that is because with 2 grandchildren, I'm raising 2 grandchildren, adopted them actually, and they're now 6 and 11, and we have had them since he was born. So for the last 6 years, we've been raising 2 grandchildren, and eventually adopted them, which now they're just ours, but they're also my grandchildren. And we have my mom that we take care of, and we all live in this big farmhouse that we built a couple of years ago for all of us. And my life is crazy. Like I'm running 24/7, I feel. And the one thing that I feel I need in my life more than anything is just to be still, listen to God, listen to the Lord, take more time for Him, take more time just to sit and ponder and study and learn. So my word this year are 2 words, and that is be still. I'm going to take a little brush and go through where the boards meet so I can kind of get in there. I may have to do that when I raise the stencil up. If you need a stencil and you don't have a vinyl cutter, you can reach out to me. I do a lot of that for people who want to personalize their own things. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Be still. I'll go back in and all those little spaces which the stencil had those little bridges. Just kind of touching it. In my older life, a few years ago, I designed stencils and cut them with a laser. So I know a little bit about stenciling, more than I want to know. If you ever have any questions about stencils or anything like that, I might can help you. I have a large vinyl cutter as well that cuts them out really quickly, and it's huge, so it helps. I know a lot of you have those, and they are so nice to have, but you don't have to have them. I'll probably go back and touch this up a little more when it dries, but oh, I think it's so pretty. I can already tell I love it. Yeah, there's places I'm going to touch this up that I won't let you guys watch me do that. Alright, let's look at it. What do you think? I know it's backwards, but it is beautiful, and I do love it. I got to touch this up a little bit. I do want to show you guys the canvas that I did earlier. I haven't completely finished it, but I'm going to just show you how it looks on canvas as well. So you definitely can offer this on canvas as well as boards or, gosh, a door hanger, anything. Isn't it cute? So pretty. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you do well with it. I hope you make a lot of money this spring, and I hope you get a chance to paint this for yourself. See you next time.